Yes, but I mean, what it does increase the chances if there's a connection. Like if we read Abraham Lincoln's great granddaughter, it actually probably would liken the chances. It would increase them than if I were to read somebody randomly off the street. But like even with seeing Larry Burkhead, I remember I sat with him and brought through Anna Nicole Smith, and that very easily could have not happened, but it was enough of a connection to be made for her to come through.
Wow. What do you think is like the biggest misconception of what you do?
I think the biggest misconception of what I do is even really kind of what I'm claiming to do. I don't claim to see dead people walking around. I get very subjectively meaningful inner feelings, and I share those feelings with other people who often find them subjectively meaningful themselves. So it's something that I think people want to quantify in a scientific way. And I myself, showed an interest in doing that as I went to the Peak Brain Institute in season 4 of Hollywood Medium and had my brain scanned by Dr. Drew and Dr. Hill. I showed a willingness, to kind of quantify objectively the weirdness that was going on. But as time goes on, I'm kind of really feeling that it's more akin to like an art, and you either see the meaning in the words or you don't. And it's like, just because not everybody's on team, for like not everybody loves, the same type of painting. It's going to be kind of a subjective thing, and that's okay.
That is okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're nominated for an Emmy for Life After Death. So what is, season 2? Hello, hello, season 2.
I'm going to shake my magic 8 ball and then throw it into the Netflix executive offices, and we'll see. But no, I feel so thankful. I felt like Life After Death really was a snapshot of a period in time. We were coming out of the pandemic. I was going through this journey of discovering my own family identity, and then we had some amazing readings. So if nothing else, I'm really proud of what it was.
Do people in your personal life, like, either your mother, your boyfriend, anyone, like, do they, the extended family, do they say, come on, I'm just in the mood for a reading today? Like, do people, friends, like, are you bombarded with this?
Absolutely. Well, my mom all the time will show me a picture on her phone and say, Tyler, what do you get? I have a friend and they just need to know something. And then I'll like try. And half the time it'll be accurate, but then half the time it won't. And I definitely have instances like with my mom where she seems to kind of always try to keep me sharp and testing, my ability. But my partner, one of my favorite things about him is, at the end of the day, the last thing we talk about is how work went. He really just loves me for the human being, and the medium stuff is kind of the least interesting to him. So I need that in my life.
Trust me, I get it. In my personal life, people want to talk about reality TV with me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I'm like, this is literally, we are not talking about this. Cut it off.
You can relate. Absolutely.
I'm like, I will talk about anything except who is my favorite housewife. Like, next topic, please.
Exactly. Yes. Let's get into foreign politics of the 1930s. Absolutely.
Well, what about like celebrities? I mean, if you are, I know you like to stay in, but like if you are at like a red carpet event, I mean, do celebrities say like, hey, are you getting anything? I mean,
There's
or,
times. Absolutely. Oh, I mean, I even remember going to an event. Aaron Carter was there, which really is so devastating what happened to him. But I mean, he was somebody who I actually kind of made friends with on the red carpet, and then we stayed in touch thereafter. And he was a really special person. So yeah, you always get interesting interactions. There was one time I went on a red carpet and a lady recognized me, and she took off running, like she just hauled ass. She was just, because she was scared, I guess. She didn't want to hear if I had anything to say. But I mean, that was definitely a way to clear a room.
seriously, did you get any, vibes from Aaron Carter? I mean,
No, he is somebody who clearly struggled for a very long time. And for me, I really was taken aback by how childlike he was in a lot of areas, in a lot of respects. And I think was one of his best qualities.
absolutely. Do you find it harder to read, like if someone hires you for a reading and you know them, like, a friend of a friend, or just, like, is that hard? Like they say doctors, like you always hear of like surgeons don't want to operate on their wife, or, is it like that for you too? Or
Absolutely. Anytime where bias is a part of it, or information can kind of logically affect what's more supposed to come through intuitively, that can create some issues. So if I have, my own personal investments, my own hopes and fears for the person, that can kind of construe what's coming through. It helps if, I have kind of a disconnect on some level where I'm just relaying it as I'm getting it, kind of like an ASL interpreter, in the sense of just relaying it as it's coming through. Can definitely be a challenge of people,
is there any part of like the business, like you've had TV shows, books, now you're with Fireside, the live, like, is there any part of the business not like either your gift. I know you didn't call it a gift. You said, I forgot how you referred to it.
Oh,
Like
yeah, an ability, yeah.
ability, like, or, just, is there anything else you kind of want to, that you haven't done with it that you kind of want to do?
It could be the first medium in space. That's an idea. Do a reading, out there somewhere on Mars. That'd be interesting. There's, I don't. My 30s are coming. All the celebrities are open up tequila brands. There's something about spirits and tequila. I feel like it's a natural synergy. Oh God, I'm putting all my secrets out there. No, I genuinely just hope to be able to continue doing readings, and I've been loving touring and being able to do readings on Fireside. So if we can just keep that going, I'll be a happy medium.
I love it. And as we wrap up, do you ever, I mean, I know you started young, and I mean, I'm familiar with your story of how you fell into this, like, with your grandmother, and like, if you ever have a moment of like what you would be doing if you weren't doing this?
Yeah,
I mean, I know you were almost a hospice nurse, and
yeah, I think I probably, in all likelihood, would have gone that direction. It was really only after an interaction with my dean of the college where he told me to leave school because he'd received a reading himself, where I then left. So, it was very strange circumstances. I also considered getting into diplomacy. I always found the UN to be very admirable. And I think in a larger way, doing readings is a test of diplomacy and being able to be articulate, understand people's intentions, be able to meet people where they're at, even if you're not where they're at. And so all those kind of skills, I think, helps prepare me for being a medium.
when you were in school to be a nurse, you read the dean and he was like, please leave. Like, this was so
So
accurate. Like, you need to
I
get out of here.
I had ran into him, and I had actually read him before. We had never talked about what he did as a job. We talked about his relationship with his son and the shaman of his who had passed. And then I ran into him on campus one day, and I was like, "What are you doing here?" And he's like, "I'm the dean. I'm retiring." And I was like, "Oh, well, funny seeing you here." And then he asked what I was doing there, and I said, "Well, I'm trying to be a hospice nurse." And one thing led to another.
Wow. Anything else you want to bring up? Congrats on the Emmy nomination. Congrats on joining Fireside. I think it's a great way for people to be able to kind of relate to you and maybe get a reading and kind of keep up with you as well, and just everyone wants a reading, Tyler.
Oh, I so appreciate it. It's a great opportunity through Fireside to be able to receive readings, watch them, be a part of the process. Grief is such an isolating emotion, and I'm really proud to have been able to create something that really focuses on community, on being able to share not only our loss, but our love, as that's really kind of what brings us all together. So thank you so much for your time today, David. It's been really great talking to you.
It's been great talking to you. I think it's great. It is almost like a Tyler Henry support group for grief because we all go through grief.
Absolutely. The goal ultimately is to give people resources to be able to deal with things better themselves and not need that third party, to not necessarily need a reading, but it certainly can help.
I totally agree. So thank you so much. This has been great. I really appreciate all the work you do, and I'm going to be watching you on Fireside as well.
Thank you, David.